Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back with Christine Farr. Excited to have our friend, our coach, and she's really helping so many be better with her company. Yeah, being better. Hey, that's it. That works out perfectly. It's so
Right?
true. And it's beingbetterme, LLC.com. Tell us a little about what you do, Christine.
Oh, Jill, first of all, I'm just bringing joy. It's this beautiful, wonderful, happy, healing energy that people are needing in the world. We're nourishing, naturally healthy living. And what that means is tapping into your whole being. That means working with your body, working with the feedback of your body. What's stiff, what's loose, what makes you feel happy and joyful and bubbly. What brings you down? Paying attention to that, looking at the thought pattern. But then the thing that I'm really, really excited about that's opening up in the business lately, because of the energy shifts in the world, my energy coaching and my spirituality coaching is really being pulled in at Brownsville. We're at the border here with Mexico, and I'm sure you've seen on the news, there's all kinds of stuff going on, right?
Yep, of course.
So it just seems to be that being better me is what everybody's looking for. And they're taking a minute to sit back and go, you know, I've run the rat race, I've done the treadmill, I've done everything I'm supposed to do, and it's not working. So now what? And that's what we're doing, and we're having fun with it, Jill. How is your weekend? I saw on your post that you're having such a great time with your family.
That's all we do. I love it. I love it. We did, oh my gosh, so much more today. We do everything, the sports, the fall festivals, the pumpkin picking, though. I'm all about that. I'm like 45. I feel like I'm like, well, 5 most days, but I don't know. I just I love doing kitty things. I've always done. So I think I'm like the perfect mom when it comes to that, because my mom didn't like doing this stuff. I might be the overkill though, because I'm like, we're going here, we're going there, we're going. Yeah, but thank you. Weekend was good. And what about yours?
Well, this is good. Mine was exactly just as joyful, in a different way. So I see you light up when you talk about this. And this is what I want people to notice. Look at yourself. Look at how you are when you're talking about things you love. You're 45. And I'm going to get up for this because I'm 45 too. Okay. And I've had multiple surgeries and I never thought I'd be comfortable in my body again. But this is what I want everybody to understand. Movement is medicine. And when you're feeling a lot, bouncing around like a child, getting into the things you used to do as a kid is so much fun. It is.
I do. I dance. I do too.
It's a dance. And if anyone's watching, I know it might seem a little silly if you're just listening in, but what I want you to hear in the voice is that I am moving. You can hear my breath moving.
Yeah.
What this does is it helps people that are feeling stuck. Like you said, your mom didn't like to play.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that are still stuck in ways of being that are rigid.
True.
And that's it. I'm not going to ask you to change who you are. I'm only going to ask you to start considering how you are, and if we can change that.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. All right.
Let's do it, right? So this is why we talked about the clutter and the clutter in the relationships, because a lot of people look around their home and they see clutter, but sometimes it's the thoughts in our head that's clutter. And this is what has been coming up with the attraction. So I know we've been talking about manifesting and the laws of manifestation, you know, the law of attention. What you're paying attention to creates your world. So we can look at it, and if we're constantly feeling negative, we're going to see a lot of negative, especially if we're watching the news and all of this. If all we're seeing is doom and gloom, and then we're doom scrolling, and we're seeing all these awful things, and we're tapping into the crying, and I'm so off, it's terrible. And it's like, okay, so what are you paying attention to? The bad and the sad.
Yeah.
How do you think you're going to feel? And we initially want to springboard into the other side, which is let me be happy all the time. But that's toxic too. So what I want people to understand is the thing that feels boring, which is the consistency in showing up, is actually where the magic happens. That's where you have the minute to sit and go, hold on. Every holiday season. Yes, wait a sec. Every holiday season, these thoughts come up in my head. But they're not mine. And I don't like how I feel. So let's sit with that just for a second, because we're going to switch the mindset.
Okay.
I want you to sit, and I'm going to apologize to anybody if I'm triggering them, but this is an experiment. We're going to sit and think of the latest insult that someone gave us that really hurt our feelings. Now, coaching is not therapy, but what coaching is, it's giving you an opportunity to look at the habits that are coming up and know that you can change them.
Okay.
Whatever you want. It's simple as that. It's as simple as that. So you kind of notice what you're feeling, and you're like, you know what? that person hurt my feelings and I noticed my neck is stiff and my throat is stiff and my
Yeah.
shoulders are hurting. And I'm like, oh, I kind of want to vomit a little bit, like, right? It feels like you want to throw up. And you're like, okay. So what that is, it's an emotion that's stuck in your body. And this is the part that is my niche in my coaching with spirituality, whole body, all of this is energy
Okay.
work. Energy, emotion is energy in motion.
Mm-hmm.
So think about when we were growing up and we were crying and screaming and have a tantrum. What did our parents do? Shh, stop, don't cry. It's okay, don't cry, don't cry. But no one let us scream and cry and get to the other side of it and go, wow, that was a big emotion. But now I feel better because it's out of my body.
Yeah.
We see our kids do it. We see what they do. We see when they're excited. What do? They get up on their toes, and I'm going to do it for you who's watching. And we start doing this.
Yeah.
Right? Why do we stop doing that as adults? Now, I understand in society that we don't want to be running around like crazy children because there needs to be some kind of systematic structure in our adult lives. This is part of why we grow up.
Yeah.
However, if you're not finding joy in your day, was it worth it? No.
No.
No. And if we're constantly having days like that,
Ah.
ugh, ugh. So let's stick to this for a second. Let's really get into the fun of our bodies and ourselves. Last week, when I talked to you, I mentioned Ayurvedic medicine and Ayurvedic way of life. That's the Indian way of life. You have your Kapha, Vata, and Pitta. And I think I'm saying that correctly, the doshas, but it's basically working with how your body is, what you're putting in. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? Is it too stagnant? We've got Chinese medicine that teaches us all these different ways of being. And when I lived in Taiwan, Jill, here's the interesting thing. When a woman has her time of the month, she's not allowed to eat certain foods.
Really?
Yes.
Tell me what type of foods and why. I never heard of this.
So
Go ahead.
this is the thing. So this is why I love the way I've lived. I've lived internationally. And what's happened with the food that I've eaten around the world, because I have to ask, so that South Africans are foodies. I'm a foodie. I'm a South African. I'm like, let's just eat everything. It's fantastic. What we learned was that when your body's in certain states, when you're putting in something that's too hot and your energy is too fiery, you're going to get more anxious. But if you're cold and depressed and you're only putting in cold and depressing foods, then you're going to stay that way. So you have to check in, and there's so much to it, more than I can ever explain on a half an hour podcast. But this is part of what the curiosity is. Just because you were told you can be one way only, being Western, being American, being a woman, being a Caucasian woman, being a Caucasian mother, does not mean it's true. I want people to sit with their feelings, and this is why I asked you to check in with the insult. That was a lie. That person gave you a lie, and your body gave you feedback. It feels yuck. So when we're feeling stuck and we're feeling like this, and stuck, yuck and stuck.
Yuck and stuck. I like that one.
Right? Right? It is, because it is. It's yuck and stuck. And,
Yeah.
And we know we can shake it out and we know we can do all these fun things, but sometimes we're in public. And New York City is great because you can do this in public and it's okay because everyone's doing this in public, but in some places that wouldn't be okay. So let's hum instead. Because when you're humming, you're activating your vagus nerve, and your vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the body, and that helps you relax. So let's go back to that nasty yuck and stuck lie. We know it's a lie because it made us feel bad. And it's usually someone telling us that we're too much or we're not enough. And so what we can look at that and go, I am who I am, and I like who I am. And I've accumulated all of these wonderful ways of being because in every day I'm trying to be better me. Not a better me. I'm not trying to change who I am, just how I am. Being better me every day. So I can take that insult and I can feel it in my body and go, you're not staying here. So now I'm going to hum. I want you to take that emotion, take that feeling, breathe into your belly button, down low into your butt, breathe into your feet if you can. That feels weird, but let's imagine we've got a nose and our feet and we're breathing in. And on the exhale, I want you just to hum and take that emotion and that feeling and that yuck and stuck and give it out in your voice. Are you ready? Here we go. Take a breath in. And let's hum. You can even stick out your tongue if you want. And then just let it go.
Okay.
Feels better, right?
Yeah.
Feels better. Good. Thank you. And I know this is a little strange, but this is what we do, right? You notice, you're like, wait, that feeds back. The
Uh-huh.
reason I stick out my tongue is I was trained to do that in opera class,
Mm.
to
Wow.
open up my throat. Yeah. So let's see what's coming up. Jill, what questions do you have for me right now as we're going through this and we're feeling like, what is she talking about?
I
What's
just
coming
love
up
the
for you?
fact that you're so world traveled, and we were talking
Mhm.
about that when you were living in Taiwan, you can't eat
Right.
certain foods. So you've adopted a quite an eclectic where else did you live, by the way? So hold on.
Oh,
So
yes. Okay.
go
So,
through that because
okay. Yeah. So I grew up in South Africa, Uitenhage, went to college in Port Elizabeth. Then I went to live in New York City for a year as an au pair because I was like, well,
Mhm.
why not? Right. So it's teeny tiny small town girl to the middle of winter in New York. And I was like, oh my goodness, what did I do? But I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Okay.
Went back to South Africa, and then I moved to Cape Town, which was the beautiful city with Table Mountain and the ocean. There's beaches on two sides, the two oceans meet. Absolutely fantastic place, thinking it was a cosmopolitan. But what I found was that people were still thinking like this. I mean, I'd gone to New York City, so my eyes were
Yeah.
wide open, and I'm going, this is not right for me yet. So what I did then was do what my dad told me I should never do. No daughter of mine is going to Asia, he said when I was studying English in university. And I wanted to go and teach English in Taiwan. So I said, well, I made it to New York. I didn't die. I've come back. I've gone to Cape Town. I didn't die. Guess what? I'm going to Asia next. It was supposed to be a year, Jill. It was supposed to be a
Whoa.
year of teaching, and I was there for just shy of 12 years.
Wow.
This is why I look so young, because what I've learned, what I've done, and what I've understood I've done, I have let go of being a white South African female. That's not
Mhm.
who I am. I am so much more than that. I am everybody who's connected with me. I'm everybody who showed me love, and I'm everybody I've showed love to.
I'm
Everything that they
thinking the song by Whitney Houston. I'm every woman. It's
it's
all
all
in me.
in
You're
me.
everyone. I get it. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing. Wow, that is
Yeah.
awesome.
Then Florida, and now we're in
Mm.
Brownsville, Texas. That's with SpaceX. So I met my husband in Taiwan.
Mm.
It's such an interesting story, all of it. And it's giving yourself permission to do the thing that is scary, but in a safe way. Because we
Mhm.
never want anyone to go from one trajectory to the other, because then that's toxicity. You're jumping from one
Yeah.
toxic pole to the next. It doesn't feel good. But what you can do is go, you know what? I want to do this thing. And no one else in my family has done it because no
Mhm.
one else in my family has. I am the pioneer. And this is why they
Yeah.
look at me like, you're nuts. And I'm like, am I though? Because I've eaten mole poblano and you have not. And I have drunk sake in Asia and you have not.
Mm.
And I've had this opportunity to meet people in their culture, share their food and their stories, and they've given me their truths that you have not heard.
Yeah.
So it's really this growthfulness. We all carry fear of the unknown. This is
Aw.
very important to understand. Look around the world right now.
Yeah.
There's fear everywhere. People are terrified of what's happening. And they're looking at their families going, could that be mine?
Yeah.
And this is a good moment to kind of center ourselves and go, you know, I cannot change what's happening right now. But what I can change is how I'm responding to it, how it's
Mhm.
triggering me. I can sit with the triggers and go, you know, I love my family. And maybe the reason this is triggering me is I'm not showing up for them as fully as I want to.
Yeah.
So, how can I do that? And we do have to reach out for help. We do have to ask, because what a lot of people need to understand is what you're navigating didn't start with you. What you're going through didn't always start with you. We've inherited more than our physical traits from our families. We've inherited more than this from our communities, our cultures, our backgrounds. This is the beauty of having traveled. It's not just the fun parts. I've been given the opportunity to see so many right ways to do a thing that to me, I'm like, there is no black and white. There is no right or wrong. There is just what it is. And it's
Mhm.
what you choose every day. Think of this way: when you wake up and you're full of joy and you're a bright spark and you're bubbly and everything, and most people respond beautifully to that. But there's that one person that it's just too much for.
My son, I'm sorry, my 8-year-old son, my 6-year-old gets up, oh, happy, happy. And we call him the older one, the grump. I'm like, good morning. It's so, I'm hoping one day I'll get a smile. I mean, but yeah, that's just so related to that. Yep.
Yes, that's it. And but this is the thing, you can laugh about it. This is the healthy boundary. We can laugh about it instead of going, oh, I need to. No, we love them for where they are and we love them for who they are because we're okay with who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm finding the joy. This is the one thing. You're 45, I'm 45. I've been loving Tamsin Fadal on Facebook and all social media.
Yes.
She's that menopause, wonderful menopause
Yeah,
woman.
we used to work together for so many years. I love her to pieces. Yeah.
Did. Okay, so
Yes.
she's just amazing. And this is what I want to tell every woman going through menopause. We're a miracle. There are very few other species on this planet that get to experience this. Most of them, once they've stopped procreating, they live for a few years and then they die. They do not live for this prolonged time.
Didn't know
after.
that. Okay.
No, I didn't know that either. I researched this after all of my surgeries, wondering why I felt such deep grief.
Wow.
And I was like, what's going on? Why? Why is menopause this? Why this? Why this?
Yeah.
And what I found out is that we get stronger when we menopause if we exercise differently. Women get stronger.
Okay.
We get more gray matter in our brain cells as we get older if we're giving our bodies what we need. We just have to stop trying to be 25 and exercise like a 25-year-old or a 30-year-old and tap into our body and our intuition and give ourselves permission to be who we are. And if I need to stamp my feet, I'm going to do it at home.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I'm getting stronger. The human race is here for a reason. And it's here because of menopausal women. Think of who carries the weight of the family when everything breaks down. Who does everybody generally go to?
Yeah.
The feminine nurturing figure. Yeah. It's usually grandma or mom. Yeah. So we have to get stronger. I look at the past. I look at the Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. There's so much in our world and in our history that's beautiful and revealing wonderful things. So why not in our own lives? If this has already been uncovered, we're learning new things every day. Why not get curious about you? Why not attract to you what you want?
Yeah.
Really think about it. What I would love to see is a generation of grandparents who didn't know war. What I would love to see are single moms who are supported and children who are nourished and people who are able to grow their own food with joy and share. I want to see that. I'm going to talk about it. It might not be here right now, but I'm going to continue to talk about it and with people that want that too, because it's going to happen. I get what I want in every instance.
Beautiful. Okay. Remind us how we can reach out to you, by the way.
Okay,
We still
yes,
have
there
some
we
time,
go.
but
I know
just wanna
we've
make
been going
sure.
on. So beingbettermellc.com, you can contact me directly on my website. To make it really easy, I've got a contact page. Go and find me there. If you'd prefer an email in-person conversation, hello@beingbettermellc.com. You can also find me on social medias. I'm not as active as I would like to be. That's one of my habit changes that I'm working on. That's going to be Being Better LLC. Also, Christine Vibrant.
Okay.
Christine Vibrant is who I had to become to get out of the chronic illness and the endometriosis and the depression and. So I created Christine Vibrant. This is why we're wearing pink. I used to hate this color. Now I'm like, girl, rock it. Rock it. Yeah. So
I love it.
Definitely get in touch with me. I am still offering 15-minute consults for free because I have already been picking up clients that are stepping into change for 2024. This momentum is going. This is going to be the last time I'm offering the 15-minute free consult. This is vital. Okay. Next week, I'm going to be doing something different because it's my last show with you. So I'm going to be offering something really special. Yes, something really special next week. So for this one, 15-minute, even if you just want to check in and be like, girl, what are you talking about with energy? What do you mean? What is this going on about? What is your experiences? I'm curious about Ayurveda. I'm curious about Chinese medicine. I want to know how I can use my body to feel better. I want to improve my relationships. hello@beingbettermellc.com or just go straight to the website. Contact me there.
Awesome. All right, we still got time. Don't worry, we got 5 minutes left. Let's continue.
5 minutes
girl.
left. Let's do this.
How else are you helping people? Let's talk.
Okay, so what we're doing, what we're trying to start. So we're in Brownsville. We're at the border with Mexico. We've got colonization happening, and I smile about that because I tell my local friends, hey, your favorite colonizer's here. I grew up in a colonizing, South Africa was a colony. So this is the thing. We acknowledge that this is what people see us. If we can make fun of it, it disarms any of that resistance to it. What we're doing with the nonprofit, we're trying to start a nonprofit in the area. I'm a resident, not a citizen. So there are hurdles. This is fine. We are decluttering and we're going to start Totes Tuesdays. Totes at little small businesses that are supporting the community. When you declutter and you take a bag of goodies to those totes, to those businesses, you either get a free coffee, you'll get a discount. This is what we're trying to start in the community. And we have made quite a large inroad to it. The reason we're doing this for the shelters start filling up at holiday seasons. At holiday times, there are women and children, and there are some men who are in desperate need of a new beginning. And so when we take what we don't need anymore, we can look at it, just like Marie Kondo said, release it with joy. Look at what you're decluttering. Look at what you're taking out. It carries energy. There's something to this that is important to you. This is why we feel low when we come into a decluttered space. It's unresolved energy. Just like the yuck and stuck is in our body from emotion, the yuck and stuck is in our home environment. That's not okay. We need to release it slowly.
Yeah.
We don't want to get pressure on ourselves. For some people, it's enough to start decluttering the fridge. Today, you do the freezer. Tomorrow, you do one shelf. The next day, you do another shelf. That's enough.
So true. It's the
so
baby
true.
steps. Ugh.
Baby steps, because the little things in life count. We say this over and over again. Why don't we practice it?
Yeah.
It's the little things in life. It's the waking up. You can challenge your son and go, you know what? When you wake up in the morning, before you even react, the grumpy one, I want you to wake up and just breathe into your body and just feel your toes. Flex your toes, bend your knees, roll around, flex your hands, and just get comfortable with your body. When we're anxious, we don't know where we end and where we begin. So it's important to get in touch with your body. That little moment in the morning is enough. I started mine with smile first thing in the morning. That was hard.
Yeah.
That was hard. Sometimes it was a growl. Some days it was a grimace. Some days it was, I don't want to smile right now. But I did it. I showed up every day for a second. And then I got to a minute. And then I got to 3 minutes. You can do everything you want, but you've got to start with safety. You got to make sure you're good. This starts with the decluttering and the hydration. Hydration. Make sure that you are drinking enough water. Drink it with your teas. Make sure we're getting into winter. Have lovely watery soups. And the ratio for your water drinking is not 8 glasses. Your glass and my glass are not the same.
True.
What we do is we take our weight in pounds, and it's just a number. It's not who you are. That is just a number. It is not who you are. You take your weight in pounds and you cut it in half, and those are the amount of ounces you should aim for in a day.
Interesting. One more time. Wait, say it again.
Your weight in pounds. Your weight in pounds. So I think like right now I'm 128 pounds.
Okay.
Your weight in pounds, you cut it in half.
Okay.
And those are the ounces to aim for.
And there's 8 ounces in a cup.
Well, that's the experiment. So
try to do the math.
Do not assume. Do not assume. So get very scientific and fun with this. Go and take your glass. Go and take the glasses you drink out of and your coffee mug you drink out of. Take your measuring cup and actually see what's in there, because most people look at the number and go, oh, that's too much. And I'm like, it feels too much because you don't know where to put it.
True.
If you know where to put it, it's manageable.
True.
The same thing with clutter. Clutter makes us crazy. If we know where to put stuff, everything's fine. So let's get clear. Yep. So what it usually is, if you have an 8-ounce glass, what is that? How many ounces? 64. 64 divided by 8. Isn't that 8?
I think so.
8 times 8 is 64?
Yeah.
So if I have a glass of water an hour, that's 8 hours. That's my work day. Done. Easy. Boom. My anxiety is going to come down, and this is real. Your anxiety will reduce when you actually drink enough water. Your anxiety will reduce, and your energy will skyrocket. Boom.
Good.
Just water.
Good.
So this is part of it. The basic baby steps. You do not have to spend money with me. You do not have to spend money on coaching. You do not have to pay away the pain. You can. It makes it faster. But you can tap into your innate healing. Your body has everything you need. You just need to start listening to it. We need to start dialing up the volume for the, hey, I feel good. I'm going to shake. I'm going to sing. I'm going to be a bit silly. I'm going to tap into what I love to do as a child. If you love to color, go and get an adult coloring book with all of the cuss words you want and color your heart out. If you love to sing and dance, have a dance party. Get your boys involved. Be like, you know what? We're going to have a dance off.
Yep.
Mama's going to kick your butt. You're having a great time and you're connecting with them on a beautiful level.
Yeah.
Enjoy your life and remember, everything that's coming your way is manageable if you're just showing up how you would like. Who you are is who you are. You've worked hard to be this person. Don't try and change too much. Just change how you're showing up and show up with love for yourself first. Lead with love and the rest will follow. It's really interesting.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Miss Christine Farr. Remind us how we can reach you, please.
Please head over to my website, beingbettermellc.com. There's a contact page right there. If you want more in person, hello@beingbettermellc.com. And you can find me on social media as well. I do take DMs. I do not talk to people that are going to be taking too much of my time. Healthy boundaries are necessary for everybody to continue to operate as we want in the world.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, it's always a pleasure having you here. I'm going to dance this weekend away, have some good time with the boys, and just be young at heart and keep us young and keep moving, breathing, moving, drinking.
Yes. Drinking your
my
water.
calculations after this. Thank you so much, Christine. Pleasure having you back as always. And we'll talk soon, okay?
Talk soon. Have a beautiful weekend.
You too, honey. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.